do.
So, John, we were just thinking through sort of the broad outlines of the sermon. We were thinking through some of the major points of emphasis. At one point in the sermon, you pointed us to Psalm 23, classic psalm, probably the most well-known psalm, one that I memorized at least in part. Don't quote me on it yet. When I was a kid, one that's sort of stuck with people, I think, in more ways than maybe some of us realize. But you use it as an example of the sort of the ideal image of how a soul or how a person is shepherded by the Lord.
Yeah.
Could you sort of make a connection to your life, ways that psalm maybe has come to life, or the way that the Lord has shepherded you, kind of in that way of sort of through all those different things that the psalm kind of points out? Is there anything that you can think of that is a moment or a time in your life in which the Lord was the shepherd in that way?
Yeah, yeah. I I think for me the strength of Psalm 23 is that it's not something that you can come up with on your own.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's the whole point of Jesus saying he's the good shepherd and he'll
Mm-hmm.
be our good shepherd. Because, when people are in trouble or in great need, loss of a loved one,
Hmm.
turmoil in their soul, they really need the presence of the Lord to basically overshadow the trouble they're in.
Hmm.
And that's where I found in my life Psalm 23, my soul drifts there when I'm in great need.
Hmm.
When people are out in the desert and they're hurting or they're dying of thirst, they oftentimes see mirages.
Right.
So the danger of wanting to be a shepherded person is to not realize only the shepherd is real.
Right. You could
Okay.
hallucinate.
Yeah. So these things
Yeah.
here are
Hmm.
are they're led and brought into our life by Jesus. For example, I have all that I need. Um, I can't just make that happen,
Hmm.
but I can realize that He has brought into my life the things I need because He's been my shepherd.
Hmm.
And if there's something that I'm wanting, and I love that song that Lisa sings, by the way, I'll not be wanting.
Yeah.
If there's something I'm wanting, I can examine it in terms of, oh Lord, have I wandered away from your shepherding? Am I over one of the lost hills and wanting something?
Hmm.
Or is this truly something I don't need this? I think I need it and I
Right.
want it, but
Right.
I do not need it. And it's a wonderful thing to be in that place to let go of something you want, but you don't really need. And likewise, leads me beside green meadows. I don't know what green meadows are really.
Hmm.
I think I see places in life where I could stretch out in a hammock and that would be a green meadow for me. Oh Lord, I could hear you there, and you would just pour your great thoughts out on me. And then it turns out to be when I'm uncomfortable in a chair, annoyed with myself and everything else, that turns out to be a green meadow. That's the place where if I just think about what's going on and what the Lord's telling me, I got food, I got stuff I can take back and ruminate and eat and gain something from this. And then, of course, it gets more explicit. Not only He renews my strength, but He guides me along right paths. Again,
Right.
He's leading the way
Right.
as a shepherd. And so my task is to follow. But then the benefits in verse 6, surely goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life. I felt that this morning, and it was a beautiful thing. Kathy and I had a lot of things on our list, and we were trying to prioritize, and a lot of things happening. And we decided to go for a walk together with our dog. And while we're out on our walk, Kathy realized that 3 or 4 of the major things on the list had just dissolved as we walked out the door. We ran into a neighbor. Several things began to happen.
That's cool.
And I literally felt like goodness and mercy were following me. It was they were pursuing us.
That's cool.
It's like we couldn't do the list,
Right.
but he, as the shepherd, knows our list, and he could do them. So I felt like it was kind of a fulfillment of that particular verse 6 in Psalm 23.
Thank you, John. And I love just the way you say, like, it pursued you, and you didn't go on a walk to sort of check off a few more things, right?
Yeah.
But that the Lord in His leading of you is able to accomplish things at those moments where you weren't maybe planning on it, but were able to receive it. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.